Yo,
It's top of the morning to you.
what up? No voice crack. I'm feeling good, boy.
It happened once, but that's okay. Hey, how y'all doing? 1 to 10.
1 to 10. Let's start with you.
Yeah, I could say a 9. 9 is cool. Nothing to complain about. Just school tomorrow. So yeah, it's classes.
You ain't lying.
I know I get. Let's see. I got about an 8.5, which is pretty odd because I got 10 assignments left that's due by the end of the night tomorrow, bruh. But I got work and stuff, so it's about to be a scramble when I get home. I'm about to be
Do an
that.
episode on time management.
I'm about to do that track me Usain Bolt with all these assignments, bro. But I'm in high spirits, man, because I completed the biggest project now, and then the rest is just boom, 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 like miscellaneous stuff. So I'm feeling good now. I'll be a 10 after tomorrow night when I'm done with everything, and I have a head start to the next week, man. So.
Oh man, 10 out of 10, I think, man. I don't got anything hold me back. 10 out of 10, man. Just enjoying life, enjoying each day. But I mean, I think we're doing good. It's an A plus, I think, or something.
That's an A plus.
Yeah.
10 with a 9.
You better do math.
5.
Yeah,
That's about an A, solid A, man. Whew. All right, man, I'm excited for the episode today, man. We about to get raw and uncut, bro. This is, episode that might hit home for some, might not, depending on who you are. But we're going to be discussing the topic of dealing with addiction, right? So I was thinking about this topic like last night, and, I was thinking about, man, what are some of the things that I'm struggling with today? And what are some of the things that society struggles with as a collective, man? And the word that came to my mind was just addiction, right? And you can be addicted to a lot of different things, like we see different categories, like people are addicted to drinking, people are addicted to lust, pornography, whatever the case may be. And so instead of like identifying like the destination, how do we beat addiction? I wanted to come from the approach of how do we deal with addiction? How do we endure addiction? Because we might not always have the solution to be able to be freed from that addiction immediately, but we can give some practical steps that have helped us, that we're still dealing with some of our addictions, and that may can help you with some of your addiction. So, I'm gonna start off with you, man, and dealing with addiction, what encouragement have you found in your life with just anything in general that you would be able to give the audience here, man?
Bro, it's a heavy topic today for sure, bro.
A simple no.
I think what you said last episode was happy rolling.
But something that's probably been the most encouraging to me is how you have to start somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And kind of like the humble beginnings, and just understanding that every day is not going to be a 10 out of 10, as I'm trying to break these addictions, but it's about, getting back up, after we fall. And I think that's something I found encouragement in, but especially specifically in my life as a Christian, is like understanding like, God's strength is shown in our weaknesses. And so when I'm maybe struggling or when I'm falling, in addiction, but I'm like, dang, like this is where God really shows his grace and his mercy and his love for me on the part that I'm getting up or even in the valley. So I think it's just that starting somewhere for sure for me.
Real. And I resonate with that, man, because I feel like we all need to identify, man, like one, why am I in this position, and what caused me to get in this position? Because I feel like there's a root problem when we discover where we need to start at. Like we got to start where the root is. So for me, I'm thinking about something that I'm struggling with that's addicting right now. It's probably my addiction to like people pleasing, my addiction to the opinions of others as a general collective thing. And so I looked at my life, I've been looking like, man, why do I crave this acceptance and this validation from other people? Like, why is this something that is near and dear to my heart? And I was able to reflect on this with God. And I really felt like one of the main reasons why I struggle with this addiction with acceptance and validation from others is because there was a lack of attention that I received when I was young, when I was a child. So a traumatic experience as a kid produced this effect where now I'm constantly craving or longing for this attention from other people. And so when it comes to people pleasing, I'm always going above and beyond just to be seen by others so I can feel reliable, so I can feel dependable, so people can count on me, so that the attention that they give me, I can feel wanted, I can feel loved and supported. But we all know that's unhealthy. We all know that there's no fruit that's good that comes from needing acceptance and validation from others. And I feel like a lot of us, we all have addictions that start from an underlying root problem that we probably haven't addressed. So you mentioned like, how do we start, man? I think it's like, we got to start and I look at that root and how we got to that root in the first place.
I think as you're handling this, a key part to it is telling those who you're with, you know what I'm saying? Because then they can help you. I think we spoke about it on this past episode, but people can't help you unless you tell them that this is a problem. And so for me, my own, I've been able to struggle less because I've been able to share it with those I hang around, and then they've been able to help me, and then it's become a tad bit, not even a tad bit, I'd say it's become a huge bit easier to handle because we're bearing each other's burdens. You know what I'm saying? I was just talking to someone about this past week, but it's a fascinating thing where now you're helping me carry the weight that I've got to carry, and then I'm helping you, and weight is a lot less if there's 4 people inside of it, you know, holding it up. So I think a key part in as you're inside of this struggle is who are you letting help you? You know what I'm saying? Because who you're letting help you helps you.
Right. That's the real talk. And I think to go off both of your points, like even for me in my personal life, like you talk about getting to that root, is like when I had a porn addiction, bro, and like I got to that root by understanding what was really the root of that, right? And then it took me all the way back to middle school. It was with that peer pressure and that people pleasing. We were like, hey bro, have you watched this yet? Hey bro, have you did this yet? Have you did this? And you're just like, no. And so I was like, dang, like this is really the root of the problem. But then going off your point is telling people, being vulnerable with the right people, you know, also maybe living that struggle out and just kind of telling them like, hey, you know, this is what I've been going through. This is I need help, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And so that's what's personally helped me is like that vulnerability, but like you said, getting to the root for sure. So
a key point that I feel like both of us, or all 3 of us, have really discussed, really like you mentioned something that you mentioned that you struggle with things, and I mentioned what I just shared with you guys. And the thing that just came to my mind is that, you know, because of those things, we aren't alone. So if you're a person who's struggling with any addiction today, like you're not alone with anything, right? And we have to understand, like, we want to help you get to that root, and we want to help, you know, us grow so that we can endure addiction the proper way. I feel like if we were able to identify and share with others, man, we can make some actual progress into dealing with addiction and hopefully getting to that destination where we're actually free from that addiction, right? You said like when you had that addiction and now, you know, you look back to that middle school lifestyle where you are now. I mean, I'm sure there's been tremendous growth because of the steps that you've taken by identifying that root and growing from there, man. So
I want to say, I'm sorry, but I just want to say that you're so right on what's the root cause. Because when I look at all my struggles, again, we got porn, we got other people's acceptance, or other people's other people's acceptance.
Social media.
Social media. But straight because all my things, once I was able to find the bottom root cause, it was the acceptance of others. Just like you said, it stems from a childhood thing. So because I lacked acceptance being a small child, now that's affecting me now that I'm an adult. And now once I focus that root cause, then that fixes all these other struggles. You know what I'm saying? I feel like our struggles are kind of a scab over something, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just kind of over it. It's not the actual problem. And so once you fix the actual problem, bro, then it can heal. You know what I'm saying? And then as we say all the time, what you do affects those around you. And so once I heal, I can help other people heal, but hurt people hurt people.
And I think what's good about that too is at that time, we look back at those like childhood, like traumas or whatever, is that we didn't know what our identity was. That was the main thing compared to now, us knowing that our identity is in Christ now. So we know whose we are and we know who we are, you know what I'm saying? So therefore we're like, okay, well, if I know whose I am and I know who I am, you know, I don't do this anymore. I don't hang out with these people. I don't talk about that type of stuff, you know? So it's all just an identity thing, because we can all probably attest to this. When we were like younger, we're going to church and we're just like, we're there because our parents dragged us there, you know what I'm saying? And like, it wasn't even our own relationship with Jesus. It was, you know, our parents, and we were kind of living off that and living off their identity and say, you know, I go to church sometimes, but compared to now, when we're going to church by ourselves, like it's just us 3, our parents might not even be there, you know what I'm saying? So just having that identity is a game changer for sure.
Ooh, and that's key because now it makes me think back to your point earlier. You talking about middle school and that peer pressure that ultimately contribute to you falling into the things that you fell into. And I feel like a lot of us fall into positions where we subscribe to things that we never want to do because of what people actually influence in our lives. Right? There are things that people influence us just by being around them because of what they might be addicted to. And so the point I want to come to is that don't let other people's addictions cause you to be addicted to the things that you might be addicted to currently, man, because you said that peer pressure pressures you into that point of addiction, right? It may not be your addiction in the first place, but it's somebody else's addiction that caused you to be addicted, bro. And so I feel like if we're struggling with something, man, we first have to identify that identity problem, man. It's like, man, my identity is found in God, man. So I don't have to do these things. Even if they tell me I should do these things, I don't have to because I don't find my identity in the acceptance of others. I find my identity in the one who bared my sins on the cross. Bro.
Literally. And that's something that's helped me growing up is like understanding now that my identity is in Christ. I don't have to drink what they drink. I don't have to smoke what they smoke. I don't have to do what they do. And I don't have to say what they say. You know what I'm saying? So like now I'm just like, hey, I'm chilling, bro. I'm kicking it. I got God, bro. I got God, bro.
hey, one, that's a fight. I'm just gonna paint you in your eyes. Nah, throw shoot the pad, bro.
That's what preaching, dog.
Compliment him up in the comments. Simple man. Hashtag simple man. But I'm gonna say it, every episode, who you hanging around? I've never drank alcohol when I wasn't with other people who would drink alcohol. Oh, think about it, I've never been alone like, oh, I'm gonna drink some alcohol. Never in my life. I've only drank alcohol when I'm with other people who were drinking alcohol and then drinking it excessively.
Bro, facts. I think that's the same for me. It's like in the BC days, bro. I would never be like, yeah, I would just go smoke by myself, bro. It was always like, yeah, I would go smoke with somebody else. I would go smoke with these group of people. It was never by myself, man. Some people different, bro. So watch the Lions be chucking down some Bud Light.
That's wild, bro.
I know some people.
Lions turn into zebras like that. You know what you see, but if I see God.
No, that's real, man. I got a question for you, Slater, man, because we talked about this in our personal conversations, man. But people that deal with addictions, they have many struggles, right? And we've talked about this, personally. But what advice do you give to people who are currently, they currently see that somebody's struggling in their lives with a form of addiction, and they want to help that person, but they don't know the approach to go to help that person that's struggling.
So they're helping a different person.
Yeah. So they see somebody with a struggle and they're like wondering, like, man, I really care about this person. I see the path, the trajectory that they might be going on. I don't want them to go down this path.
Yeah. I think something that we do, a lot of us do, me included, do the wrong thing is we kind of force them to see it how we see it. And like, that's not our job. Our job is to show them love, is to be their friend. You know what I'm saying? So I think I shared once how I had some friend and she had some problems. And so all her friends are texting her, calling, yo, you got this problem and you got to fix it. I'm like, dude, I didn't do any of that. I told her, if you ever want to talk, just call me. I'm not going to pressure you or anything. And she eventually took her a couple of weeks, but she had called me because I was the only person who wasn't pushing it down throats. I'm just there like, bro, like, let's just be friends. If you don't want to fix this some problem, that's between you and you and God. I'm just here to be your friend. And so let's just hang out. Now, also, I'm not going to do her addictions on all stuff that she's in. I like how you said how we kind of let other people's addictions form our addictions. Because I've never drank if I wasn't with other people. And so, again, it comes down to who you're hanging with. But to answer your question, I think, again, it's just like, be someone's friend, bro. People who are struggling with addiction and problems, what they need is a friend. You know what I'm saying? A doctor can go be a doctor, but a friend has got to be a friend.
Man, because I'm thinking, like, there's been so many times where unsolicited advice has been perceived the wrong way.
Good way of saying it.
You want to give somebody advice because you see them in a pit, but that person doesn't want to get out the pit. Yeah. And when you try to help them out the pit, you fall in the pit yourself, man. So I feel like for people, man, you see somebody that's struggling with any form of addiction, man, and they're not actually asking you to help them with that addiction, your best way of approach to helping them is just to be their friends, to be by their sides, to love and support them, man. Like I heard somebody say, man, sometimes you just gotta let people crash, bro. Sometimes you just gotta let them crash and fall, man, because at the end of the day, that's the direction that they're headed for inevitably. But if I'm trying to help them stop them from the crash, I'm gonna start to turn the wheel. We both go crash in this car together, man. I gotta let go. I'm like, hey, man, because when they crash, I'll be the first one there to help pick them back up and put them back on the right direction with God.
Right. And I think with that too is like, the saying is like, you can lead the horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes with the unsolicited advice, like a lot of us strain ourselves by trying to drag this 1,000-pound horse to the water, but we end up just hurting hurting ourselves, hurting our back, just hurting our own being, you know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, you know, you just gotta let people crash and burn sometimes. Like I think sometimes if I'm being honest, I'd be like, you know, I'm just letting bro crash and burn. I planted the seed, but hey, God got him now, bro. I'm just out of my hands, literally. But like that's what you know Paul talks about. It's just like, you know, I planted the seed, you know, Apollo's water, but God gives the increase. So it's just like, man, we just there to plant the seed, bro. So that's why I kind of think about that unsolicited advice for sure, though.
That's good, man, because in the steps of, you know, enduring addiction, I mean, we do have to identify the root, but we also have to be present in the time of where we are, man, because at the end of the day, you alluded to earlier, man, some days are going to be good and some days are going to be sucky. Some days are going to be crappy, but what's the mindset that we got to have in attacking this, right? You mentioned identity, you mentioned, you know, just encouraging people. Like there's a lot of things that we can do to help endure addiction, man. So I really want to illuminate now, man, like, you know, we've all struggled, man. We talked about you're not alone, man. But, you know, here are some practical ways that we feel like you can actually take that step in the right direction, man. So we start off with accountability, man. Letting people know, like, hey, man, I'm struggling with this, man. Like, hey, maybe you're in the pit right now. It's like, man, I don't even know what to do, man. The first thing you do is reach out to somebody and say, like, this is what's going on in my life. And I would say reach out to some wise counsel, people that can actually give you some good advice, man, because if I'm struggling with drinking, bro, I'm not about to go to a drunkard and say, how can I get cure this problem, bro? Like,
addicts hang out with the addict.
Nah, bro, like I got to go to somebody who's going to give me some good advice that's going to help me get out this pit. And then next, man, is I got to actually, like, for me, what has helped me is giving my stuff to God. Like I think about that verse of 1 Peter, man, is casting my cares, bringing my anxieties to him, man. If this is really straining me, if this addiction is really straining my life, man, I gotta give it to God, man, because he's the only one that's gonna help me get through this, man. Like I think about the verse, you know, people, one of the gospel greatest hits for that Philippians 4:13. They talk about, I can do all things, bro.
And every person's by one
through Christ who strengthens me.
That ain't for you to score a touchdown. That ain't for you to score a touchdown.
Take your test. You ain't study, bro.
I really think that verse is alluding to, like, I can endure anything through Christ's strength. He strengthens me. Right? Like, if Christ is giving me the strength to deal with this addiction, then I am more acceptable to overcoming and persevering through this addiction, bro. But if I don't have Christ, man, if I don't find my identity in Christ, if I'm, you know, content with being in this pit, man, how can I expect myself to grow, man? So,
yeah, I think the accountability is huge too, because something that's been a huge help for me, especially in the area of addiction, is like you have to hang out with people that know more than you and have more than you. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to hang out with people so I can see, hey, how did you get there? I want to get like that too. Yeah. Not to compare myself to them, but just see like, hey, like that is there for me as well. You know what I'm saying? So why can't I also achieve this goal, you know what I'm saying, in this, you know, certain area of my life, you know what I'm saying? So like people that can keep you accountable, and I think kind of not comparing yourself, but seeing others that, you know, are at a place where you want to get to is kind of like, you know, that's a reachable goal for me. Like it's there for me, you know? So that hanging out with people that's got more than you and know more than you is huge, bro.
It's a pretty hot take, but I think, again, it's okay to let some people get hurt, you know what I'm saying? Because I think of all of us in our personal conversations, we have touched stoves a lot and we've gotten our hand hurt a lot, but it's inside of that we learn not to touch a stove. But if there's a kid who would never touch a stove, it's always going to be tempting to him. And once mom's not there up in the kitchen, he going to touch that stove, it's going to be hot. He going to learn, okay? A lot of us, I'm saying, we touch that stove, we're not touching it again.
We ain't even going in the kitchen after that.
Hey, thanks. But also, sometimes it is key to talk to someone who has touched a stove so that you learn that you don't have to. So I've talked to people who have struggles that I haven't had because I want to learn from them. It keeps me away from those struggles because Okay, so like dudes who drink, I have a friend who's an alcoholic. It's costing his job, his wife, his kids, all this. I'm not alcoholic, but you dang near know I ain't gonna touch alcohol that much if I know it can hurt you that much. You know what I'm saying?
The thought that just came to my mind is learn from other people's burns so that you don't end up getting burned, man. Because like if I'm going around playing with a stove, bro, and somebody else has played with a stove and got burned before, like they can tell me, hey man, you gonna get burned if you get too close to that stove and you know try to dabble with that stove, bro. But if I can listen to that advice, man, then I save myself from getting burned.
Facts.
So you mentioned, man, hey, reach out to people who are smarter, who have more than you, so that you can put yourself in a better position. That's going to help you, man. Because at the end of the day, man, who wants to go out and get burned, bro? Like nobody does,
But
bro.
that's the difference too, is that some people want to get burnt.
Don't say it for
Some people want to actually touch that stove, bro. Like you can literally have all the instruction in the world to not touch that stove, but some people want to do it just out of plain curiosity, and you just gotta let them do it. You gotta let them do it. So it's like if I told you, go ahead, do it. Do what you want to do at that point. You know what I'm saying? You your own life at that point. It's on you. I tried to help. Don't say I wasn't there.
my hands.
Literally.
I got a question for you guys. This is my last question for either one of you guys who want to take this question. But we kind of been alluding to like some bad addictions, man, how to overcome those. But I want to focus on like, what are some good addictions that we can add to our life to help grow us spiritually, you know, relationally, physically, mentally, all of the above, man.
Great question. Shoot, bro. Like when I think of good addictions, I just think healthy habits, you know what I'm saying? And I think something that has changed my life personally is nutrition, bro. For me, it's just eating a lot healthier and a lot cleaner, just as far as just upping on the fruits and veggies, upping on the water, like just upping on all that type of stuff. That's things that just help me, especially as an athlete, you know, with nutrition and just performance. So that's something that's helped me just in that area, in that department. So
I feel like all of us are addicted to something. So we got two options: be addicted to that's bad, or is addicted to stuff that is good. And I like to be addicted to stuff that's good. That's just me personally. But a couple of things. So I think of two things. I think of doing it involuntary thing is I have an addiction to seeing how people are doing. You know what I'm saying? So like, man, I love to check up on people I haven't spoken to a couple months or weeks. You know what I'm saying? Just a habit of mine. Like, man, I'm just always searching for someone I can just go, how you doing? Let's have the chat. What's good? It's bad. And maybe I'm struggling, but they're struggling. And then I think for a spiritual way, man, the best addiction is talking to God. Addiction to reading His Word, you know? So those are, I think, are two positive, you know?
That's real.
I think like with that too, them healthy habits stem from my relationship with God, bro. It stem from it. So I can see when I'm not in my word, like I just gave the healthy nutrition. When I ain't in my word, I ain't eating too healthy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't eating as healthy as I should be. But I just think, you know, just that relationship, my relationship with God is just like the stem, you know what I'm saying? And everything just branches off of that, you know what I'm saying?
So I think that bad habits stem from a lack of us talking to God. You know what I'm saying? Good habits stem from a strength in us talking to God.
Yeah, bro. I think, talking to God and let alone knowing Him too. Cause like a lot of people walking around here aimlessly not knowing that Christ loves them, bro. I literally just I be watching people. I just be like, bro, they don't know how much God love them, bro. They just be walking around here, bro. They don't even know their identity for real.
Oh, NPCs, bro.
Like, they don't even know how much Christ love them, dog.
NPCs need plenty of Christ.
Nah, somebody got him. Oh, man.
Topping him up in the comments, man.
Dog, bro. Nah, that's real, man.
How about you?
Oh, man.
How about you?
I'll answer that. I want to hit his point first because he talked about that nutrition, man. He talked about, you know, your healthy habits stem from you having that healthy relationship with God. I thought about that verse in 1 Corinthians 6, how it reminds us that our bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit. So if God is residing in us, bro, I want to make sure that my house is clean with Him, bro. I ain't trying to invite God into a dirty spot, bro. No, I'm going to have everything tidied up. I'm going to make sure my body's healthy, man. So I just wanted to touch on that because I thought that was really cool, man. And really helpful for people who are living that relationship or in that relationship with God right now who might be neglecting it.
Or who want one.
So, but some good addictions that I have in life.
Or that you suggest.
Suggest? Yeah, I got that. That's a really good one.
NPC.
Yeah, nah, for real. That need plenty of Christ. I need plenty of Christ myself, bro. But I would say, man, I'm addicted to encouraging people, man. Like I just did a speech in my class on the effects of being self-centered, narcissism, and it talked about statistics how 80% of people who scroll through social media results in like depression, and anxiety, stress, all because of like the content that they expose themselves to, right? But it talked about when people are actively giving out compliments and being kind towards others, it actually boosts a hormone in your body called cortisol, which actually improves your overall mood, helps you grow as a person, man. So I thought like, man, if I can be encouraging to somebody, not only does it help me in my mood, but it's gonna help that other person's mood as well because, man, they're taking that compliment, man. We said this earlier, man. See a compliment, give a compliment, bro. But imagine a world where people are seeing compliments and giving compliments, man. It boosts the overall mood, and now the world is a much happier place. We got people feeling nutritious, bro. We got people with NPCs needing plenty of Christ, and they got plenty of Christ because they're feeling good, bro.
They got a compliment, and they gave a compliment.
Yeah, bro.
They ain't no NPCs no more. They the main character.
He the main character, bro.
Oh, facts.
Woo-wee.
I guess facts, man. But just the last thing is, if you fix your addiction, you can help other people fix their addiction. But if you don't fix yours, how are you gonna help someone else? And then I'm gonna see a comment, give a comment, bro. Domino effect. And you give someone a compliment, it makes them want to give something else a compliment. Come on, be in a better spot. People go no price.
Boom, mic drop right there.
Top of the morning to you.
Jeez. We out here.
Peace.
Deuce.